was something. I bet they got it going on in the records division in the day. What do you bet? File a couple files, boogie some. Man, that was good. That right there was worth the trip down. I swear. All right. Hope everybody's having a good time. Looks like everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. Remember, buy lots of food. 15% goes to law enforcement. Our next act, we have, there he is. We have Mr. Jeff Levine. Jeff is a paramedic with Wake County EMS, and he had to perform several cardiac procedures on people after that Supremes thing over there, didn't you? A couple people passed flat out there after that. He has been entertaining as a comedian since 1949. And his favorite venue by far is the back of an ambulance with an Alzheimer's patient, because for a 10-minute ride to the hospital, he usually needs only one to perform one joke. That's all right, Jeff. That's all right.
Look at it this way. Now he's going to look a lot better.
All right. Here we go, you folks. Our next act. Here he is. He can perform CPR and he can perform Jeff Levine, everybody.
Woo!
Thank you. Mark, is it true, by the way, that all the new F-150s are coming out with heated tailgates so that your hands don't get cold when you're pushing the truck? I'm just kidding. Anyway, how's everybody doing tonight? As he said, my name is Jeff. I'm a paramedic. I've been in emergency services pretty much my whole adult life, mostly because I didn't do very well in high school. I will admit I'm a little nervous being up in front of you tonight. Not because I'm nervous being in front of a crowd, but I honestly didn't think I'd be near this many police officers this soon after the Krispy Kreme challenge yesterday. Well, actually, speaking of Krispy Kreme, I actually thought of a way that we could increase the police presence at the Olympics, with them going on right now. Not just as spectators, but also as competitors. We add a fourth medal award level. So we have gold, silver, bronze, and honey glazed. So it is great to be in Raleigh. North Carolina is awesome. I love it. Not originally from here. I'm from Orlando, Florida. I was born and raised in a theme park. The theme was trailer. And I'm married. Thank you. Even more amazing is I'm happily married, which is actually really difficult these days considering the statistics. They say that over 50% of all marriages end in divorce. That means that either the husband or the wife out of every marriage is going to be divorced. I'm still trying to figure that one out. And even more astonishingly is they say that 100% of all divorces began with marriage. Honestly, I think that if people did it more often, there'd be less divorce, right? Thank you. And by it, I mean stay married. I mean, don't get me wrong, a good marriage does take hard work. I mean, when we first got married, my wife had a lot of changing to do. I mean, the way we communicate is so different, right, fellas? I mean, maybe you can relate to this. I find that when she's been drinking, I have no idea what she's trying to say to me. Also, when she has not been drinking, I have no idea what she's trying to say to me. And another thing, she's into this whole milk from mommy crap, breastfeeding. So, I have 2 kids. For the better part of a year with each kid, I was forbidden from touching her entire chest area. I mean, the kids are literally smorgasbording away, all they can eat. And God forbid I rub up against her accidentally while helping her try to put her seatbelt on and she just totally flips out. And the worst part is that when the kids were done with her, she was like a Macy's Day Parade balloon gone wrong. Totally deflated. They got small. I mean, really small. Okay, she could wear her bras inside out. Okay. I mean, I don't think she's happy about her A-minuses either. I mean, the other day she's looking in the mirror and she says to me, well, I guess I'll know if I get a lump, right? Because then I'll have 3 lumps. Anyway, even being happily married, I do still love looking at women. I think it's just, it's in our nature. It's something that men love to do. She says she understands, she sees me do it, and I don't think they quite get it. I mean, this is the way I explained it to her. I said, you know, look, I got a truck a couple years ago. I love my truck. It's not a Ford, no offense. And I don't want a new truck. But it doesn't mean that every time I go by the dealership, I don't want to check out the new models that are on the lot, right? I mean, and given a chance to take one for a free test drive. The things I would have done when I was younger. I never considered myself really old. Until recently, I actually went to get a haircut, and my haircut lady, she said she found a gray hair. She's like, "Oh, Jeffrey, I find a gray hair." So she's Asian. So I told her to pull it. And she's like, "Oh no, you're not to pull a gray hair. You are pulling a gray hair and the tool grow back in its place." Wait a minute, you're telling me that if I pull one gray hair, two are going to grow back in its place? I think I figured out a way to beat that. I do pull my gray hairs. But for every gray hair I pull 2 brown ones. Yeah. Anyway, my wife and I are from the Washington, D.C. area. We live in Morrisville now. Sorry, we do have a homeless population, but he's pretty cool. You know, the other day I ran into him in the McDonald's parking lot. He's okay though, just a couple scrapes and bruises. You know, and being a paramedic, I had to check and see if he was okay, so I did a full assessment, made sure he was okay, and I left the scene. Well, I must have been driving away from the scene too fast because I got pulled over by a cop. The cop walks up to me and he says, "You know, do you know how fast you were going?" I said, "Honestly, I have no idea. I was just trying to keep a safe distance between myself and the cars behind me." He gave me a warning, which was really cool because I don't know how I would have explained getting another speeding ticket in an ambulance. So I've definitely done my share of disappointing my parents in my life. I think perhaps the most disappointing thing for them was that I didn't go to medical school. Yep, instead of medical school, I went to paramedical school. I mean, can it get any more disappointing, right? It's sort of like wanting to compete in the Olympics but not being that good, so you decide to try out for the Paralympics. Oh, that joke had no legs? I could have sworn it would have stood on its own. Alright, here's another way to explain it, okay? So all your life you've wanted to be a cop and you really want to work for the Highway Patrol, but you gotta work for Raleigh Police instead. I'm just kidding. Raleigh Police is not a consolation job, okay? Now Durham, that's another story. I'm so sorry. No, this one time a guy asked me, "What's the difference between a paramedic and a doctor?" I said, "Oh, actually I thought of a way to explain it pretty easily." I said, a paramedic fixes people and then brings them to the doctor. The doctor checks to make sure that they are indeed fixed, takes all the credit, and then charges them for that one visit, what the paramedic makes usually in a week. I guess we don't do it for the money. We do it because deep down, even though we don't want to admit it, all of us want, you know, sort of like helping people. We like being nice, even though we don't like to admit it. But speaking of nice things, I will say, one of the nicest police departments in the world has got to be the Raleigh Police Department. Give yourselves a hand. Yeah! Absolutely. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. They get the job done, okay? But they get the job done while being super, super nice to everyone. I think in all the years I've been doing EMS in the Raleigh area, the most serious injury that I've ever responded to involving a Raleigh police officer was when a guy was resisting arrest and he fell down the stairs 3 times. And thank you very much. You guys have been awesome.
I know why Jeff doesn't have an F-150. He was planning on paying for one with proceeds from that act.